teachers, welcome to my channel. I am Zanaba and this is my first video for English for teachers. If you are new here on this channel, you are going to get lessons which are funny and educative about classroom English. And today I will gonna share with you 10 most effective question strategies that will help you handle your career in a professional way. So let's get started. Let's get from the very beginning. Firstly, I'm going to talk about this effective question skill. Why do we need them as teachers? We teachers must be innovative in everything we do. So as well as knowing what to ask in the classroom, you need to know how you can address to your students those questions. That's important. Therefore, two main reasons can be forwarded here. Firstly, effective questioning is an essential skill that all teachers in the whole universe needed so as to be effective in what they do. Whether you are teaching in this planet or maybe after a few years, who knows? Africans have been the first to manipulate and use the planets. Andromeda from Ethiopia, for instance. We can be in another planet and still the same thing may happen. Who knows? Yeah, we have to speculate things. Anyways, you need to be professional, and that's how you can do that. Without this skill, there is no way you can check out whether your student has understood your concepts that you have given to them or not. How can you check out? Anyways, so here are the 10 most effective questioning strategies that you can use in any classroom. Effectively, and you can use them in any matter, in any means in your classroom. So don't forget, these strategies have got three main things for you. Firstly, they're funny. They help you to encourage your students' participation in the classroom because somewhat they are varied and they are enjoyable, I think. Secondly, they are helpful to manage any class size. Most teachers crowd problems most of the time. They are not innovative. They pride about the problems of classroom size. Don't worry about classroom size. These strategies can be used in any classroom size, whether small, medium, or it can be big. Last, it makes you professional. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the 10 effective question strategies that you can use in your classroom. The first one will be pause, and pause. I love this strategy because mostly I use in my classroom, and I recommend you to use them. It's this way that you can use. First, you ask the question, then you wait a little bit, and after a while, you select a student, and you have to jump out like a cheetah. But when I say this, don't frighten your students because you are not supposed to frighten them, but to make it a little bit dramatic. And when you want to ask quick answers, mostly you can rely on this strategy. For instance, name the longest river in the world. Little bit pause. Then, hey, what do you think of this answer? So you can use it in this way. Second one is chain. Now, chain is also most popular strategy that most teachers use in the classroom. So students select the next student to answer, and mostly I use this one when I want to ask multiple students before providing their answers. The answer might be wrong or right, but let your students say anything that comes to your mind, their mind. So it's a good way to do that, and this is how you can ask. For instance, who can add to Simon's answer? So after one student answer, then you can ask for another student, and the one who answers the question may choose, or it's up to you to be innovative in this strategy too. The second one would be who can build up on what's said. You can use this expression too, or question. Does anyone else have a different answer? Is there something extra that can be added? These questions can be used when you want to come up with multiple answers from many students. As much as you can, try to be careful of the intonation that you can use when you phrase out the question. So it has to be higher. Is there something extra that can be added? So this is how you can use it. Third, phone a friend. A little bit funny this one is, because here you give your students an option to phone a friend and nominate a person to answer their question on their behalf. And what you do here is, mostly if you want to ask critical questions, you can use them. Why? If you say, sometimes students stand up with a question and unable to provide you with an answer, then it's up to you to give them a way out, and that can be done in these ways. It allows them to save their face, or they are not going to be ashamed while still being held accountable for their learning. So you can use this one. Let's go to the fourth, cold calling. This one is also a little bit funny and enjoyable in many classrooms that you can use. So here what you do is you call up on a student to answer a question who has not put up their hand. Two situations can. Before that, let me reason out. This strategy is a great way of holding reluctant students to be accountable for their learning. Sometimes in the classroom, students may resist to answer even if they know the answer. So what you do is you use this strategy, cold calling. The two situations are, firstly, there are a lot of hands from many students, but there are some dormant resistant students. So you're gonna call up on them. There are no hands. Even if you encourage them, use different strategies, still for education, no one is going to answer. The whole class is not going to raise their hand. Sometimes this happens in many classrooms. So you can use cold calling here too. 5, named questions. You know, when people are called with their names, many people, psychologically, many people will like it. They create a great bond with anyone, as you know. So what you do is here is, as much as can, try to memorize names of your students, most of them, so you can use them. Don't focus on 10 or 8 students that you know your name. As much as you can have, or more than that, you can memorize the names of your students. So this type of strategy creates a good family atmosphere in the classroom. And when you do that, there will be trust and cooperation that's going to be built among your students and you yourself. So mostly I recommend you to use this strategy when you brainstorm, when you come up with brainstorming questions. For instance, Hailey, what have you done on the weekend? So this as a starting point when you begin the lesson. And again, Meron, can you remind us about what we have learned last week? So in this way you can use this strategy. 6, taking turns. This is also great strategy. Teacher asks students according to their sitting order, and mostly we use this strategy for sequential questions. Most of the time when you want to have a sequence, for instance, in language classroom we use storytelling. So they build up on the story, the sequence that is, so finally they come up with a final good story. So you can use them, but be careful how you can use the seating arrangement. Don't focus on 2 or 3 arrangements. As much as you can use rows, columns. Sometimes even a given classroom I've got 5 sections. So the front, the back side, there are back benchers, front benchers, and the left side, right side, and the middle seating arrangements can be used here. So as much as you can, try to try to be innovative in this using this strategy. Number 7, general or undirected. This is opposite of named questions. So sometimes when you want to include or participate the whole class, you may use this strategy. So be innovative here too. So students need thinking time. And again, this strategy encourages whole class participation. For instance, look this question. What do you think will happen if you add salt into milk? So you can talk about a milk. So many people like to drink milk in the morning at time of breakfast, blah blah blah. And then you pose this question. After a while, they come up with good answer from many students in the whole class. Number 8, open questions. These are longer explanation questions. So I recommend you here to use this strategy when you want to come up with follow-up questions. Because these follow-up questions can be asked deep and meaningful. If this is done, they are great, and any classroom you can use them. But what try to warn you here is don't forget how you are going to phrase the question because it has an impact. Let me prove this one using an example. Yeah, look this question. What is the correct answer? Which one is correct? These type of questions are no good. They feel awkward because students are closed. Because you give them modality of questions which are certain. So they are not going to come up or raise their hands to answer any question, even if they are good or they have the answer. What you do is come up with modality of questions which have probability. I love this term. What could it be? After you express or elaborate the question, then say this term. What could it be? Here, as you can see from certainty, we come up or we changed the question to probability, which means it allows more classroom participation. Let me give you some extra examples. What do you think it could be? What do you think the answer could or might be to? So here you insert the concept. For instance, what do you think the answer could or might be about the impact of Facebook on university students? Blah blah. You can use them. So don't forget here again the intonation because it is important to use good intonation as well as voice when you ask questions. Number 9, closed questions. These are factual answer questions, so students come up with responses of yes or no, and as much as you can, try to be innovative and be careful how you phrase the questions. It's similar almost with open questions or strategy. Let me give you this example. What could it be your answer to the following statement? There is life after death. So some students may say yes, the others may say no. So there will be a hot debate or argument in the classroom. So it's good strategy too. So lastly, I'm going to come with the bonus. The bonus I'm going to give you as a 10th strategy is building upon wrong answers. That's what we miss in most classrooms. So this about building upon what a student shared first is incredibly important. Even if the answer is wrong, you tell your students or the other fellow students that it got something important in there. So this is what I come across. Incorrect answers, most of the time, they contain elements of truth within them. So as much as you can, if you use this strategy, it allows you not to discourage students who might have raised up their hands to answer for the first time, to answer your question for the first time. So what you do is, I recommend you to use these phrases or in line with these phrases. I think I know what you're talking about. So here you put an emphasis so the other students come up or he's also or she's also encouraged to talk more. You're in the right area. That's about 50% right. You've got most of this right, but there is something missing. So the other students will try to add some pointers that will strengthen the answers that comes from this guy. Even if the answer is wrong, as I've said before, there's something good in there. So these are the strategies that can be implemented in any classroom. I hope you have enjoyed. Okay, now don't forget to use these strategies more innovatively and creatively because every classroom is different in the whole world. Even your classrooms, which are in different sections, the same level might be different for different people. So I advise you to use them wisely, these strategies, but use them in as a complete package. And thank you for watching. Next Friday, I'm gonna come with a new lesson. Until then, don't forget to subscribe and follow my regular updates. And I'm going to see you soon. Until then, thank you. Bye. Bye.